GM is facing a daunting challenge, and Mary Barra's decisions are at the heart of it all. They've gone all in on electric cars, leaving their dependable old combustion engines behind. This move has left GM, the biggest car manufacturer in the US, in a precarious situation. What's more, they're selling electric vehicles at a loss. Yep, you heard that right. They're putting out these fancy electric cars, but there aren't any takers, while their traditional gas-powered cars feel somewhat neglected. In this video, we reveal the inside story of GM's startling downfall and uncover the seismic impact it will have on American manufacturing in the middle class. The reasoning behind Mary B's puzzling strategy is leaving everyone scratching their heads, but the situation goes from bad to worse. Think low-quality production, factories shutting down because there's not enough demand for their electric cars, and a massive $3 billion employee strike. To add to the chaos, they're even pulling the plug on their best-selling EV, the Bolt. According to Bloomberg, GM's electric vehicle decision is drowning in red ink, and their gas-powered cars are footing the bill for these losses. General Motors finds itself in a tight spot, and it's no secret. CEO Mary Barra has openly acknowledged that they're not turning a profit on electric cars at the moment, let alone being able to offer affordable luxury EVs. Instead of targeting the $30,000 to $50,000 price range, GM is churning out high-priced electric vehicles that often exceed the $60,000 mark. That's quite a hefty sum and not within reach of the average consumer. Their ambitious goal was to sell a whopping 1 million electric cars by 2025, but reality paints a different picture. This year, they've only managed to move about 44,000 units, and to make matters worse, they're selling them at a loss. However, GM is striving to tighten its financial belts. They're working on new Ultium batteries that are expected to be around 40% cheaper than the ones in their current Chevy Bolt. This cost reduction is a step in the right direction, but we're still waiting for a clear timeline for their release. Mary Barra hopes to see battery costs drop to approximately $87 per kilowatt hour by 2025. But she's honest about the fact that electric cars might not become as affordable as their gasoline counterparts until later in the decade. This situation puts GM in a precarious position, especially because the majority of new car sales globally fall within the $30,000 to $40,000 price range. GM's electric vehicle program has been bleeding money, with promises that it'll turn into a gold mine by 2025. Yet, at present, they're selling electric cars at a loss, and quality control is taking a backseat as they rush to establish a presence in the electric car market. Recalls are becoming commonplace, like one for brake fluid leaks that could lead to fires in over 40,000 Chevy Silverado trucks. This isn't just a PR nightmare, it could also cost GM a significant amount in repairs. It's worth noting that GM faced a staggering $31 billion loss in 2008, translating to $85 million down the drain every single day. While they've rebounded since then, these new challenges could potentially push them back into financial trouble. But the plot thickens. Tesla and Ford have formed a partnership granting Ford access to Tesla's supercharging network. This collaboration has the potential to give both companies a competitive edge in the electric vehicle arena, leaving GM trailing behind. Other automakers are also surging ahead in the electric vehicle race, making it increasingly challenging for GM to maintain any first-mover advantage they might have had. GM initially had grand plans with their Ultium platform and multiple assembly plants for electric cars, including Factory Zero in Detroit. However, Factory Zero faced a month-long closure last year, and GM managed to deliver only 86 Cadillac Lyriq and 72 Hummer EVs in last quarter, despite having over 880,000 orders for these vehicles. It raises questions about what's happening behind the scenes. Adding to GM's troubles, the United Auto Workers, a union representing nearly 150,000 workers, has declared war on GM by going on strike at 3 Midwest plants. The pressure is mounting, and GM finds itself in a complex web of challenges that could have far-reaching consequences. One major stumbling block in this intricate web of issues is the United Auto Workers, who are pushing for a substantial 40% increase in their pay, shorter work weeks, and an end to the multi-tier wage system. Now, why the demand for a 40% pay raise? It's worth noting that in the past 4 years, the CEOs of GM, Ford, and Stellantis have seen their own income swell by the same percentage. In 2022, GM CEO Mary Barra took home a staggering $29 million, marking a 34% increase since 2019. Meanwhile, the average worker on GM's assembly line is struggling to make ends meet. An analysis by the Anderson Economic Group paints a grim picture. If all auto workers were to go on strike, it could cost the company an eye-popping $5 billion in just 10 days. Yeah, that's billions with a capital B. This stark contrast between the soaring profits of the Detroit Three, GM, Ford, and Stellantis, thanks to consumer demand for expensive trucks and SUVs and the challenges faced by the workers, brings forth a pressing question. Why can't they share the wealth? Seth Harris, a senior fellow at the Burns Center for Social Change, cuts straight to the point. There's no doubt that the automakers can afford to distribute their wealth more equitably among their workers. However, here's the twist. Ford CEO Jim Farley suggests that meeting the UAW's demands might push the company into bankruptcy. This statement is raising eyebrows, especially considering GM reported $10 billion in net profits. This isn't just a tough situation, it's also a slap in the face to hardworking Americans. Surprisingly, a recent survey revealed that nearly 75% of Americans support the workers' stance. Even President Biden, who champions himself as a pro-labor president, has called on these companies to share their profits more fairly with the workers. The UAW isn't standing alone. They have the support of the American people and the White House. But let's not forget the real heroes in this story. The middle-class workers who form the backbone of these companies. They're feeling the financial squeeze. And UAW President Shani Fee has called reports of planned layoffs of non-striking workers, an attempt by the automakers to pressure union members into accepting a less favorable settlement. FEI asserts that their strategy won't work, and they're unwavering in their commitment to achieving economic and social justice for the workers. If this strike continues, consumers might soon face a shortage of vehicles, further driving up already high prices. This is happening at a time when car buyers are already digging deeper into their pockets for financing. GM's actions appear to be negatively impacting the middle class, and it's not the first time they've found themselves in hot water. A look back to 2019 reveals that a UAW strike cost GM a staggering $3.8 billion for the year. Between 2017 and 2022, the share of new auto sales priced above $60,000 tripled, going from around 8% to 25%. The average price for a new car exceeded $49,000 by the end of 2022, compared to just $33,000 3 years ago. The money is there, but it's not trickling down to the workers. GM's response to the situation includes offering a 20% wage increase, which is notably less than CEO Mary Barra's 40% pay raise. They claim the need to recover from losses incurred during the 2019 strike. Mary Barra's salary has increased by 34% over 4 years, reaching almost $30 million, largely tied to stock performance. The company's stock buybacks primarily benefit executive pay, rather than average workers. It's time for a fair share of the pie for the middle class, as they've had enough. A disgruntled workforce could pose a significant threat to GM. The company faces financial losses in electric cars, quality control problems, and labor disputes, making their road ahead challenging. Whose side are you on in this battle between the middle class and the automotive giants? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more.